The second one, leveraging. Leveraging consists of a person's ability to understand his or her own talents and use them. So it could be said, I'm leveraging when I'm using my talent of juggling and adding new things to it. So by constantly expanding your ideas and adding to it, I am being a creative person while leveraging. The third one, which is the most important, is framing. Framing, he says, is the most important and uses this as a quote. It is what happens when things don't work out to the point in which the creator figures out what they can learn from and the lessons they can learn to make sure things go right the next time. So what can I do to make sure that I don't drop that ball the next time? How can I make it better for the next time you people see it? Because if I come out here and do the same thing every time, it's not going to be as fascinating. So I need to work on how to make things better. And he uses an example. Autistic kids, they need to expand on the idea and maybe come up with a plausible treatment other than what people already know. So if they come up with a new idea, that one brief strand of autism that kids have, they may be able to cure if they come up with new ideas. So in conclusion, with the creative mind, you have to be a good creative person, and they should have a respectful and ethical mind at the same time. So that's why I went after Anushka, and I also went after Satoki. Because in order for you to be a creative person, you need to have both those minds and work together with them. So that's the end of my creative process. Now I can rest a little bit. I'm going to pass it off to Brittany, and she's going to wrap up with the synthesizing mind and a brief conclusion.
Okay, the synthesizing mind is considered to be the most important of minds, which is why I went last. You have to be able to be all other four minds in order to be a synthesizing mind. You have to understand them all. He uses an example as Charles Darwin, because what synthesizing mind is you're able to take a lot of information and not only make it make sense for yourself, but be able to explain it to other people. Charles Darwin went around the world, collected findings, and he interpreted it to make it make sense for him, but explained it to the world, and we still teach a lot of his findings today. So an example of a synthesizing mind right now would be a translator, and how a synthesizing translator would understand and take their culture and understand the culture that you're translating it into and make it make sense, and not just translate it verbatim. A non-synthesizing mind would probably just do that, and it could cause a lot of issues in the translation. So I'm going to bring my Japanese friend Satoki. And he's going to say Japanese idioms.
Tsuki to suppon.
And that means, verbatim, the moon and the turtle. So does anybody have any idea on how you would probably synthesize that into an American translation?
No clue.
Nada? No? Okay. It's basically saying that they're so far apart. The moon and the turtle are probably like the largest opposite ends of the spectrum. So it's just comparing how far apart they are, and you can't really compare the two. Okay.
うの中の蛙
Means a bird in the stone well. Come on, someone give me one example. Yes.
Taking a shower.
Is that where the bird takes rocks to bring the water on the bottom of the well?
No, but you're thinking, and I like that.
Kill two birds with one stone.
No, okay. It basically means if you're in a stone wall, you have nothing to compare it to. I know you've heard of the FIT syndrome.
No.
Good example. You basically think you're amazing because you have nothing to compare yourself to. So, in reality, if you get other birds in the well or your cage and they're able to see it, you might compare it to, oh, I need to work on that more, or they have better strengths there, or maybe you are that awesome. You never know. But you have nothing to compare it to.
豚に真珠
Giving pearls to pigs.
Don't we have that in America? Why put a pearl necklace on
Yes.
swine or something?
It's basically saying don't waste something valuable and important on something meaningless, like having a pig wear pearls. So, last one would be,
木から猿も落ちる
okay, that means even monkeys fall from trees. Somebody has to get this one. Yes.
So even experts can be wrong?
Yeah, it's basically saying everyone can make that mistake. Monkeys are supposed to be able to swing from trees and do all sorts of amazing tricks up in the air. But sometimes they fall. And that's basically saying, you can still do so many things all the time correctly, but everyone's going to have that mistake and everyone's going to mess up occasionally. So basically that's what synthesizing is, and it's the most important one because in the future, like Howard Gardner says, we're going to run out of all the usable fuels, and we're going to have to be more creative and be more respectful of other minds and everything. And in order to be synthesizing, you're going to have to take all of that knowledge and be able to make it make sense for your peers. So in conclusion, basically Black and Yellow is our theme song. We can juggle and speak Japanese, and we're kind of awesome. Just kidding. The 5 minds of the future are severely important for the world, and we need to embrace them and teach them and nurture these ideas in the young minds of the future because we're going to need them in order to survive. Any questions?
Does juggling have anything to do with piloting? Is that just a hobby of yours?
No, yeah, it's just a hobby.
Did you drop it on purpose just so you can make
No,
it lift?
the plan wasn't to drop it, but then if I did drop it, I had to have it as a backup.
You're a monkey and you fell out of the tree.
Exactly.
Prime example.
Yeah, that was it. That was a good save, Sean.
Yeah. I meant to do that.
Okay, so I have questions for you. Can we turn it back up to full lighting?
Yeah,
Thank you.
It says full on there.
Nicole,